Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and we are doing a recap and review of Ready to Love Season 4, Episode 10, Getting Clarity. So, before we jump into the drama, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and if you like that video, hit the like button, and feel free to drop a comment down in the comment section below. So, let's jump into this. So, after we saw from last episode Alexis exposing Amber, she is kind of forced onto a apology tour. Now, with Alexis, she does apologize for Ron using her to seemingly show off in front of his friends and trying to make Alexis jealous. And I just thought that was pretty interesting. I didn't understand the situation, and I've seen some comments on social media where it was like a weak expression. Some people said they didn't understand it. Hopefully we'll get a full story either by somebody's live, which I usually publish on my channel, or at the reunion. So, I mean, it was just a little confusing and honestly hard to even understand even the reason that she apologized, considering that the process isn't even over yet, But, and then Alexis took the apology in stride and gave her props for being honest and call it a day. However, with Kris, she has to apologize to him, I guess, to keep the peace. I don't know. But, it was a pretty interesting interaction. Now, in regards to Joel and Verneashia, they had a similar example hashing out what happened with them in the past to kind of keep things steady in the future, and look like they're all right now. But, after all that happened, they're cool, they're cuddling, they even sharing a room together. And they really do seem to have an end game with this, which I think is what Amber and Chris's goal is. So it seems that, maybe they'll be also part of the final 3 couples, but look like they were trying to do the same thing. So now let's talk about this whole hot tub situation, and Kyra decided to come on out with it. She said in her confessional, she was like, you know what, I'm kind of going to stir the pot a little bit, and I'm going to wear my bikini. I wouldn't say it's a bikini, monokini. I don't know what it is, but she decided hey, she got it. She said, I'm going to show it. And got right in the hot tub with both Liz and Jason. And Liz was like, I didn't even recognize Kyra. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Everybody saw Kyra because Kyra wanted to make sure that everybody saw her. But I will say the girl got a body. She can wear it. Go ahead with your bad self, Kyra. No qualms from me. But she definitely was trying to make a statement. Both AJ and Jason was in that same hot tub. And the thing is, as I remember, Kyra is in this mode of wanting to be chosen. But I don't think she want to do the choosing. She says she don't chase a man. I think that was in episode 8. But these men have definitely have an interest. They let her know. But Kyra is, I don't know. She's not making a decision. And we're going to talk more about that. But as for Kris and Amber, Amber is still trying to make up for the whole thing with Ron. Kris tended to take it in stride. He did want some explanations from Amber, but she apologized to him again, and they cuddled up and, in front of this little bonfire thing. I really like this couple. I know a lot of folks I've seen on social media was saying pretty much that they seem manufactured, or if they're just being forced to do this and be that golden couple on the show. I see it as a lot more genuine. Let me know what you think. I think they have a connection. He's a Cancer, she's a Taurus. It's an absolute match zodiologically, and they're just clicking and vibing. And they feeding off each other's energy. So I have no issues with this couple whatsoever. But let me know what you guys think. I mean, they were even up in there dancing in the kitchen. So I thought it was cool. So with regards to Verneashia and Joel, who are definitely, I'm not going to pretend that they're perfect, mainly due to it feeling like she's stuck with him because no one else has pursued her. He has stuck with her, though, since too many were going after Kyra. Now, this whole thing with Kyra and AJ, I don't know. I mean, Kyra, it's like a little cat and mouse game between the two of them. I mean, because he's really not showing his hand, and Kyra's definitely not showing her hand. And it's just this back and forth flirting. And of course, she's telling in her confessional how oh my God, we're getting closer and we're connecting and vibing. But then she's also stuck between him and Jason. So, there's no clarity whatsoever when it comes to who Kyra chooses, because obviously these two men are interested in her, but because of her vagueness, Jason is more interested in Liz now, because Liz has made it known where I guess her heart stands in regards to who she wants, and that's Jason. And they were talking about that, Liz and Alexis, about, kind of like a little kiss and tell conversation Liz had with Alexis about their date and how they connected so well and how they've been playing kissy, with each other. And honestly, she's definitely interested in him. But looking at some of the conversations that Jason is having, which we'll talk about with Kyra, and even in the confessional, he still kind of got a little piece of him stuck with Kyra. So I'm hoping that Liz don't get hurt. The whole thing with her and David didn't work out. It went south real quick. And of course, David is no longer on the show due to self-elimination. But hopefully Liz get exactly what she want out of this situation with Jason. Still speaking of Jason, he decides to, I guess, this little date of a tennis date. And it was so funny. Kyra was talking about how she don't want to be seen as the pretty girl that's not athletic. But she definitely didn't do well at tennis. So she said she needed a tennis lesson. But I thought that was cool and funny. However, it was time to have that conversation, though. And this whole thing, some folks are seeing Jason as being a little bit hypocritical here, because he seems to kind of be split between Liz and Kyra. But, I honestly think that he wants Kyra to be less on the fence about him and AJ, and which for her, like him, remains a hard decision because there is a give and take there. And, you would think that by now, because we're at week 10, I think we have one more episode and then we have reunion. At this point, kind of what Jason says, you should know what you want by now. And I know for a long time she said that she don't want to chase nobody, that she needs to be chosen. But this show puts you in a position where you have to make a choice. It's only going to be 3 couples, which means, Amber and Kris is a couple. It looks like after this conversation that Jason is having with Kyra, we'll talk about his decision, which it leans more away from Kyra. And for her to not know what she wants at this moment is frustrating to Jason. He wants to know, what do you want? And it always leaves us, when it comes to Kyra, with this whole expression on her face of her not ready to give an answer. I don't know what that is, because one moment we saw her saying, oh, I'm vibing and connecting with AJ. But at the same time, she wanted attention from Jason. So she needs to figure out what she wants. Now, he's saying that, I've been clear with you what I want. She's saying, I've been clear with you what I want. But obviously, it's not clicking. And Jason is about to make 2 steps to the left if Kyra does not make a decision to choose him. Because it's one thing to want somebody to choose you, but once they choose you, you got to answer that back and say, okay, I'm ready to choose you too. It can't be like I'm going to chase you forever and figure out what you want to do. So I don't know. I mean, I honestly think that he should go ahead and pursue Liz. Liz has been clear about the fact that she wants to move forward with him. So let's talk about the other indecisive conversation, and that's between AJ and Alexis. So now when it comes to these two, Lexi knows exactly what she wants, which is him. He's been playing cat and mouse with Kyra. And so it gets to the point where with Alexis, she apologizes to him and he was like, oh, okay, really, thank you. He really, I would say he has the greatest poker face on this show because you can never tell what direction he's leaning to. Now, he'll say a few things in his confessional about one of the ladies when it comes to Kyra, when it comes to Alexis. But when it comes to them talking to him, he gives nothing there. So I don't even know if he knows what he wants. He's pretty much in the same bucket as Kyra. So Alexis basically just come out and ask him,
where your heart is right now.
A lot of times what you need ain't necessarily as exciting. Like one being exciting versus one being safe. Safe is you.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's something that you kind of hit the nail on the head. You was just like, what it is that you used to doing versus what you should be doing.
Absolutely.
To actually, make some progress. You show me like a lot of that, those qualities. So I'm really appreciative.
And that look on her face was just as much as the look on my face. And I'm like,
what? Bro, what are you talking about?
It sounded like a bunch of double talk to me. And she didn't get a bunch of clarity from that either. She still had the biggest question on where he stand. She was disappointed about it, and I don't blame her. So now, nephew Tommy, I always call him nephew Tommy. He's not on the radio station. Tommy Miles comes in to kind of, get some distinct answers from the singles on the ranch. And so he first started off with Jason. And Jason, told him where he was. There was this back and forth and the conversation of what he had with Kyra. And he got a little bit more clarity after having that conversation with Kyra. And, Tommy asked him, if you have to leave this ranch today and go back to Houston, who would you pick? And he thought about it and what his decision was is that he said Liz, because Liz know exactly what she want, and that was him. And he has an interest in Liz as well. So I'm proud of the fact that he decided to make that decision. I mean, Kyra, hey, you had an opportunity. As for Kris was next up to be asked by Tommy who his decision or choice to go back to Houston with. And of course, he said Amber. That wasn't, that's something that has been pretty much solidified a few weeks back. They have been connected for the long haul. And then after some drama, that Joelle said what happened with Verneashia in the house about him saying Kyra when they had the men's deliberation on that other episode. He said that they're fine and they're pretty much hashed things out and that his choice is Verneashia. So now it came down to Mr. AJ. And this whole back and forth that Tommy had with AJ about, look, dude, what do you want to do? Because I'm going to give you some time, but you're going to have to make a decision. I mean, that's the premise of the show. That's the premise of all these shows. Whether it's Married at First Sight, do you want to stay married? Do you want to get a divorce? If it's The Bachelor, who are you going to choose out of 32 people? Or The Bachelorette? These shows have an end result of who you want to be with. And in this case, he's trying to decide between Lexis and he's trying to decide between Kyra. And for him, it's such a hard decision. My question is, what's making this so hard for him? Anywho, so I guess it's decision time because somebody has to be eliminated. And so Kyra made this into a night of stargazing, even though there was no stars to be seen. So now they start to have this conversation. And, of course, this pushes AJ, who is the one who is going to be the deciding factor on who's going to be eliminated. He uses his questioning of Kyra to make that decision. If she can give him an answer, then it'll make his decision easy for him. If she can't, it's going to make a hard one for him, and it's going to lead to something that she might not be happy about. But that's what this comes down to. Nobody can chase nobody forever. At one point, once you are chosen, you need to make a decision to choose that other person, or you need to just walk away from the whole thing if that person is not right for you. This experiment is 10 weeks. We're at week 10. 11 weeks, I guess, if you want to include next week. But this is week 10. By now, Kyra should know who she wants. Even AJ. Because I think, at this point, Jason made his decision with Liz. But because of the answer that Kyra gave him, which, again, she couldn't give a decision, he said that she's not ready to love. And this is her last night there. And how hard this decision was for him to do that. And at the end of the day, he still held firm. Do you want me? And she could not give that answer. So we'll see what happens next week. All right, so let's do our post notification shout out. If you want to be shouted out, drop a comment. I will see you and shout you out. The first one goes to Etta Barbie. Thank you so much for engaging in the channel. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoying the content. And last but not least, One Time. Thank you as well for your comment. I really appreciate it. Man, we're coming down to a great end of the season. So I look forward to next week. So until next time, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you soon.